And today's demo, we discuss about what is this ABAP actually. Maybe some of you will be knowing some information about this SAP, but I'll be giving you all the things from the scratch, like what is ERP, what is business, and what is ERP, and what is SAP, and then what is ABAP. All these things we'll be discussing in the today's session. So I'll be giving you some parallelly some technical information also, like how to log into the system, how to open some of the transaction codes, how to see the programs. Okay, all those things I'll be showing you. But entirely this is the demo session. If I show something here, creating something and all, don't worry about that. All those things we'll be seeing in our regular training sessions. Okay, one by one in order. Okay, all those things will be covered. So first of all, SAP is an ERP. So what do you mean by ERP? ERP, nothing but enterprise resource planning. So this is for business applications. This is a software, like we have different databases in the market. Same way we have different programming languages. Same way ERP is also one software which is for business applications. That's the first point. And there are many ERPs are there in the market. SAP is one ERP among them. So ERP, one kind of software for business applications. SAP, one among them. Okay, and ABAP is SAP's own programming language. So SAP is an ERP for business applications. SAP has got its own programming language, that is ABAP. So ABAP is nothing but it's a programming language for SAP. So this is programming language only for SAP. This is not like C++. This is not open programming language. This is only for SAP. So that is what we're going to discuss in this demo session. So one by one, we'll go through all these things. First of all, this is somewhat different from normally people know C, then it's easy for them to understand C++, the OOPS concept and all. Then after that, they can learn Java also. All these are in one track. But this is SAP, it's a business application. Actually, it's an ERP. So we'll be using this programming language ABAP for SAP, and it is a little bit different. Okay. Okay, so introduction to business, introduction to ERP, introduction to SAP, introduction to ABAP and cross applications. Just now what I told you, ERP for business applications. Like in business, we have different areas. Like see here we have, just for example, I'm showing you this materials management, sales and distribution, finance, production, human resource, HR, manpower. See, in every organization, you find these departments, whether they use software or not. Okay, 60 years back, 50 years back, 60 years back, there was no ERP. Then also the this business was running, right? So all these areas are there in the business, and if these areas are connected to some software, then they can integrate, okay, easily, and they can share the data easily, so that they can complete the business object, okay, uh, short span of time. So that is the advantage of ERP. Okay, the ready-made applications to develop our business applications easily. That's the main goal of these ERPs. So now this is one company. I can take the example here. I want to take the example. So this is an business organization, say company. This is, say for example, it is mobile manufacturing company. The customer orders say 5,000 mobiles. So the order is taken care by the sales consultant, SD consultant, sales and distribution consultants, marketing people. So they get the information from customer 5,000 mobiles. Then they check immediately in the inventory. Inventory is a part of materials management. So they check in the inventory. If the 5,000 mobiles are there in the inventory, they fulfill the requirement of the business partner immediately. Okay, they came to know that only 3,000 mobiles are there. Then they need to develop 2,000 more mobiles. So that information actually they'll be passing to production consultants. Okay, so saying that we needed 2000 more mobiles to develop this 2000 more mobiles. So the production people also check in the inventory for the raw material to develop this 2000 mobiles. If they have raw material, then they're passing that raw material to the shop for execution for developing this 2000 mobiles. If the raw material is not there in the inventory, they'll be buying it from the vendor and then passing it to the shop for execution. Here, this 2000 mobiles are developed. They sent to the SD people. They fulfill the requirement of the business partner. 3000 plus 2000, total 5000 mobiles are delivered to the customer. Then this information they pass to the FI consultants, FI finance, money related. So it's all taken care by these functional consultants. So if anything to be paid to the vendor, the payment is done by this FI consultants. Their HR consultants are nothing but human resource. How many consultants are required? How many hours they work? Okay, all those things, manpower taken care by this human resource consultants. Like this, I'm showing you some functional consultant, some functional areas here for a better understanding. But surprisingly, you don't see ABAP here. ABAP is not under functional side. ABAP is a programming language, as I told you. For MM, for SD, for PP, for FI, the coding will be developing the code using this ABAP programming language. ABAP is in technical side. These are functional modules, different areas. So MM is a separate course, SD is a separate course, PP is a separate course, FI is a separate course. Like that, we have 70 plus modules are there in SAP. But core modules are MM, SD, FI. These are 5-6 modules are there in every project. These modules are compulsory. Okay, so this is how the business happens in a company, with the software, without the software. But when software is there, then what is the advantage? SD people immediately check in the inventory. Okay, PP people check in the inventory. FI people get immediately information from the sales and distribution consultants, and the payment is done to the vendor immediately. Okay, all these are happens. Okay, in short span of time. So this is the advantage of using this software, ERPs, right? So this is the advantage of using ERPs. That is the reason ERPs are there in the market, right? What do we mean by ERP? ERP nothing but enterprise resource planning. Enterprise nothing but it's a company or business area. Resources nothing but man, material, money, and mission. The 4 M's normally. So man means HR, material means MM, money. If I like modules only. Using these resources efficiently. Planning means utilizing the resources efficiently. That means utilizing these resources efficiently for your business organization or a company. So that is nothing but full form of ERP. Right? And there are many ERPs are there in the market. As I told you already, ERP is a software like programming languages like databases. So ERP is a programming. ERP is a software for business applications, and the different ERPs are there in the market. Ban, Siebel, Oracle, PeopleSoft, all those are different ERPs. But advantage of SAP comparing to these ERPs, SAP is a better ERP than these ERPs because these ERPs are good in one area. Like Ban is a ERP which is good for materials management. Siebel is good for SD, sales and distribution. Oracle Finance is good for finance. PeopleSoft is good for HR. Like this, we have these ERPs which are good in one area. Like Oracle Finance supposed to be the very good ERP for finance, but you want integration, then SAP. SAP is the best ERP when integration is required. Like MMSD, FI, HR, PP, all these are different modules are there. All these modules are integrated. So what is the advantage of integration? They can actually get the information, everything from single database, and they can, okay, from the scratch to end of the product, everything they can develop under one software. So that is the reason SAP is a better ERP than the other ERPs in the market. So SAP, so 3-tier R by 3 nothing but real-time 3-tier architecture. What is that? We'll come to know. The single tier, 2-tier, 3-tier. The first topic is architecture only. We'll be discussing that later. So this is about architecture. We'll see that. But advantage of SAP, why SAP is a better ERP? SAP has got module to module integration. Second point. So when you're using this decentralized ERP, as I told you here, definitely required MMSD, FI3 modules are required. So here I'm using Ban for MM, Siebel for SD, Oracle Finance for finance. This different ERPs, just for understanding, I'm telling you. If I use 3 different ERPs, first point is they are very costly. and every database will, every ERP will have its own database. Getting the data from 3-4 different databases is always difficult. Integrate them is very difficult. That is the reason when integration is required, the best solution is SAP. SAP actually is a centralized ERP, and which is actually connected to the central single database. MMSD, FIPP, all these consultants are connected to the single database. They can share the data whatever required in fraction of seconds. So this is centralized ERP SAP. So that is the main advantage of SAP comparing to other ERPs in the market. Then three-tier architecture. What do you mean by this three-tier architecture? Any idea about this three-tier architecture? One tier, two tier, three tier. One tier means database, application, presentation, all the three in one system is one tier. Okay, and two tier means database and application in one system, client in other system. This is the two tier configuration. This is also known as R by 2 real-time two tier architecture. It's also known as client server architecture. This database server, application server in one system, and connected the number of clients. So we can connect to the number of clients that can be connected to the application server. One server is available for number of clients. That is the advantage of this two-tier architecture. If it is three-tier architecture, so three different layers and three different applications: database server, application server. So database server backend, application server nothing but your SAP software, and presentation server nothing but front end. So three different layers and three different applications, three different layers and three different applications. So this is actually advantage of three-tier architecture. The main advantage of three-tier architecture is it supports multiple operating systems and various RTBMS. You can use any operating system here to hold the data, to install the software. You can use any database, okay, so to hold the data. So this is advantage of three-tier architecture. We'll be discussing about this three-tier architecture in the starting classes. When the starting first class will be training sessions is architecture only. We'll get some more details about this architecture later. So this is about three-tier architecture. This is elaborating this three-tier architecture and how many clients you can have under one application server, how many users, all those things we'll see. And this is history of SAP. So it is actually 1979 R by 2. Strictly speaking, 1970 single user, 1970 chip card system, 1971 single user, 1972 single tier, okay, and then 1979 they released this two tier R by 2. As I told you now, database application in one system. They were using mainframes to run this SAP application. That means here this is two tier. Here they were using mainframes. The mainframes, without mainframes, no SAP. That was the situation when it was the two tier. Then after 1992, yeah, sorry for that. There is three tier R by 3, three-tier architecture, right? Then after 2004, ERP, SAP ERP includes SAP ECC and EHP. ECC nothing but ERP central component, and EHP nothing but enhancement package. Then 2015 onwards, we have S4 HANA and HANA database. That information I'll give you. Will confuse now if I talk anything about HANA and all. We'll see that later. I'll give you information about that. Nothing to worry about it. Then the different versions of SAP. We have different versions like 3.0D, 4. All these versions are just for your understanding purpose. I'm writing all this. We're not using all these versions now in these days. We're using SAP ECC 6.0, EHP 1, 2, 3 up to EHP 7, EHP 8. EHP 7, EHP 8 we are using in our applications real time also. EHP 1 came into the market 2005, EHP 8 in 2016. So these are all different versions altogether. SAP version, ECC 6.0 is a version. These are enhancement packages with that version. Okay. And as I told you, being SAP R by 3, it supports multiple operating systems and various RDBMS. You can use Windows, Linux, etc., and you can use Oracle DB2 SQL Server as the databases. But Oracle is supposed to be the best backend, okay, for security reasons, right? So this is about versions of SAP. So any queries, anyone, any doubts, any clarifications, you can ask me. All clear, right? Okay. Right then, I'll continue. Right. Now we'll discuss about different more consultants in SAP. Like in every software, you find different people working. Na? Same way, we know SAP is an ERP, SAP for business applications. In SAP, you find these three functional consultants. There is no separate project only in basis or admin or ABAP or MM or SD. All together work in a project. Like basis consultants, nothing but administrators. They'll be knowing administration part. Okay, and the technical consultants are nothing but ABAP. They'll be knowing ABAP. Okay, programming language as I told you. Then functional consultants, nothing MMSD, FI. Each module is a course. Okay, so these people are always responsible people in the company. So whenever company gets a project, the functional people will design actually how to say specification, a blueprint, the design actually what actually client requirement is, what tables, what fields, what conditions, everything they design, and the task is given to the technical people, saying that our client requirement is this. Develop the code by using ABAP programming language. So the technical person knowing this programming language ABAP. ABAP is Advanced Business Application Programming Language, which is fourth generation programming language, better than C++. Like C++ are third generation programming languages, where ABAP is a fourth generation programming language. But when you compare with the C++, ABAP is entirely for SAP. ABAP is not an open programming language like C++. So we don't be writing code for palindromes or prime numbers, radius of the circle, area of the triangle. This type of coding is not required. We don't have pointers in this. We don't have arrays in this. Okay, all those things are not available because not required. Strictly, these are business applications. SAP is an ERP, ERP for business applications. Business applications are nothing but database applications. So sometimes we retrieve the data from the database. Sometimes we update the data to the database. So different types of retrievals and different types of updations. For those things only, actually, we'll be writing code. So that is the reason we don't require all these other programming language skills here. So this is entirely different from other languages that will come to know once we start the course. Then once the ABAPer develop this task, for developing this task, they required systems, clients, users, authorizations, all these things are taken care by the basis consultant. Not only for technical, for functional people also the users as arranged by the basis consultant only. So all three together work in a project. There is no separate project in any one module. So, but as an ABAPer, what is our work? We'll be writing code for the things given by the functional consultants by writing code in ABAP, right? So this is our area. So when you work in real time, you have development, technical, nothing but quality, and then production. Once you develop the object in the development, so we'll be releasing the object from the development to quality. Means we'll be sending back to the functional consultant. You'll be checking the object there in the quality. If everything fine in the quality, sending it to the production. Production nothing but implementing in the client side, live implementing in the client side. So as an entry level ABAPer, you'll be working in development. Okay, you don't be having access to this quality or production. If you're a senior consultant, then yes, you'll get the access to the quality also. That and all, with your experience, you'll be getting all those access. But I'm talking about entry level ABAPers when you will be working in the development only. Okay, so this is about the three areas. Now we are learning ABAP here. So what is there in ABAP? ABAP is a programming language, we know. SAP's own programming language. In ABAP, what are all the different things? Like what are all the roles and responsibilities of an ABAP? So this is called RISEF actually. RISEF means reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements, and forms. So reports is very important unit actually. Reports are nothing but extracting or collecting data from database. Reports are nothing but extracting, collecting data from the database. As I told you already, SAP for business applications, by using ABAP programming language, we'll be writing code either to retrieve the data from the database or to update the data to the database. So this first half is extracting data from
Sir,
database. Nothing but report.
sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, as you have mentioned that we can only develop web database applications using SAP. So I have a question that can we develop web applications using SAP?
purpose is not creating web applications. SAP purpose is different, no? But business applications.
Okay,
We
so
can
we
use.
have
Yeah,
yeah, sir,
tell me.
please go ahead.
Yeah, we can. If at all you want, we can use web services for your calls and all. That is fine. But the purpose is entirely different. No, we will be writing code in ABAP for our business applications only. Actually, okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
So yeah, there is an option to connect to the web services also. HTTP SOAP also can connect to this. But normally, we'll be developing these things for business apply, extracting data from database, nothing but reports.
Sure, okay,
Okay.
sir, got it.
Yeah. So now, suppose if I want to log into the system, this is my system. Okay, I just log into the system for your understanding. Just a minute. Mm, this is logon GUI. Okay, SAP logon. This is the GUI. Administrator will be providing all these things to you, and the username, application server, instance number, all these things will be given to you. And when you double click on this, it lost the username and password. This client given to you. Okay, this is IDS. All these things will come to know in the initial classes, first class. Then I'm giving my username and password. This is the way I can log into the system. Okay, so I connected to the application server. So what I did through the GUI, I connected to the application server. That means the same thing what we discussed here. Through the GUI, I connected to the application server. Whatever write code here, action takes place in database server. Suppose if I'm getting the data, if you want to get the data from database, I'll be writing code here to get the data from the database, save and activate. Okay, active object is generated and extract the data from database. If I'm writing code here to update the data is getting updated. Okay, so updating means transactions actually. Okay, so this is about login details. Okay, now I log into the system. This is called session actually. This is called session, and you can have 6 sessions at a time. One user can open 6 sessions. And now what I am showing here is just I want to open a program. SAP provided, so you can have 6 sessions like first session, second session, third session, fourth session, fifth session, sixth session. So one user can open 6 different applications in 6 different sessions, not more than 6. That is the option given by SAP. Now for everything SAP provided some transactions. Okay, to understand this ERP perfectly, I'll give one application. See, when you say ERP, there are some set of tables available in the backend, thousands of tables available there in the backend, and thousands of screens available in the front end. So ultimately, these screens are nothing but transactions which are always to create a business object. Say, for example, if I want to create a bank, okay, so I want to create a bank, then there is a transaction code FA01. This FA01 is related to FA module actually. FA01 to create the bank. Okay, just enter this. So creating bank, I'm creating bank. See, there is no, you don't be creating your own screens, you don't be writing code to update the data in the database. All those things are not required. Okay, the screen is given to you by SAP, the table is given to you by SAP, and SAP itself written the code. If you enter something here, the data is updated there in the database. Like, see, now it's asking country, what is the country, and then what is the bank key. I want to know about this field. If I want to know about this field, press F1. When I press F1, I'll be getting information about this field actually. If you don't follow this, nothing to worry. All these things we'll see in further classes. If you can understand this, well and good. That's the reason I'm giving this extra information. This is a bad table name. BNK is a table name. Like this, there are thousands of tables available given by SAP, right? So, right now, PNK is a table internally. I'll give the country India, and bank key I'll give say A009, A009. This is my bank key. Enter. Say bank name. I'll give okay something. ABC Bank I'll give and then save. That's all. The transaction is completed. Okay, bank IN A009 was created. So where it is created in the table actually. So we'll go to table and see in the table. To see the table actually there is another transaction code to open the table S11. All these things will come to later. Go to S11 and table name BNK is the table name. Okay, click on display. This SAP given table, we cannot change this, we cannot recreate this, only can display. The tables given by SAP are in disable mode all the time. So now here these are all the fields under this table. BNK is the table, bank master record. These are all the fields. These tables are same throughout the world. Maybe country changes, language changes, but table name, field name remains the same. There are thousands of tables are given by SAP. All the tables remains the same throughout the world. Okay, so I cannot change the field, I cannot delete any field, I cannot do anything here. Okay, only we can play with the data. So now I want to check the data. Say go to contents. Now I just check the content, because just now I created a bank, so that should be entered in this table. Okay, so bank, country I gave IN, bank key I gave 009 8009, right? Then this is execute. When I execute, see here, bank country India, bank key this, created by the user, date, bank name ABC Bank. So like this, there are some transactions, there are many transactions are there. Using these transactions, you can update the data in the database. So the screens are given in the front end, the tables are given in the back end, the code is written by SAP. Ready-made software, ERP means ready-made business applications. Directly we can use them to develop your business applications. That too, the transactions what we are using in the front end, the tables what we are using in the back end, which are same throughout the world, right? Okay. Maximum what you can do is you can add some extra fields to the existing database table, or you can enhance the transaction up to some extent. Enhancing means those are the advanced enhancement, advanced topics in ABAP. Enhancing means adding something to the existing SAP given transaction. So that just like that we cannot add anything again. Just like that we cannot add anything to any transaction that is given by SAP. By using that only we can do that. That we'll see in our enhancements later. Understood this? Right. Now I want to show you some program. Like say this is my ABAP editor report. Report means what? Getting data from database. Like say this is a program I developed, actually report, extracting data from database. I written this code here. The code look like this in a SAP ABAP. ABAP coding will be like this. Save and activate. Save and activate and run this report. So this output. I'm just see the output. Okay, you don't need to worry about how I'm saving, how I'm activating. Okay, all those things will come to know one by one in detail later. So this is my output actually. So I designed this logo, okay, in the top of my report. Flight details, actually there are not flight details, I think the sales details. Okay, so this is the information I'm getting, the sales details actually. So I'm getting here, this is information I'm getting. Okay, so this is nothing but report, extracting data from database. We have all the data in the central database. I'm writing with some conditions, I'm writing some code to extract the data from database. If it is material data, material report means material data, customer reports means customer data, sales data means vendor reports, customer reports, reports, SD reports, FI reports, a lot of hundreds, thousands of reports we'll be developing, okay, when we work in real time. Understood? So this is nothing but report, extracting or collecting data from database. Right. Then the next one is interfaces. What do you mean by these interfaces? So interfaces are nothing but strictly speaking cross applications, ABAP and cross applications. Those cross applications are nothing but technologies used to send data from one system to other system. So there's a report actually, we're extracting data, hitting the data, writing code, getting the data from database, right? So this is actually reports. Just a minute. Okay, I'm not getting this control. Okay, so this is the way it'll be get just now what we see in his report. Then if it is transactions means in the reports you find classical, interactive, ALU, all these things we'll be discussing later. Then interfaces nothing but idocs, RFC, alien, BAPI. These are nothing but cross applications. Cross applications are technologies used to send data from one system to other system. So idocs nothing but intermediate documents. IDOC is a container actually, SAP's own container. IDOC is SAP's own container So all the time we use this IDOCs for sending data from one system to other system. IDOCs is container actually. Then RFC to set the destination to the remote system. RFC to set the destination, remote function calls. This is used to set the destination to the remote system. Okay. And then ALE is the technology. ALE ultimately is the technology to send the data from one system to other system. ALE is a technology to send the data from one system to other system. Then BAPIs are nothing but business application programming interface. These are remote enabled RFCs actually. These are also RFCs, the remote enabled RFCs. We'll see what all these BAPIs in cross applications. We'll see all these things in detail. So BAP is nothing but business application programming interface. These are under cross applications. IDOCs, RFCs, ALE, and BAPI. All they are under cross applications, interfaces actually. Technologies. Then conversions. Conversions are nothing but extracting data from database. We actually use this conversions. So not extracting, transferring data from non-SAP to SAP ABAP database. Like you find here two types of projects. Find here one is support and maintenance. So 90% all the projects are support and maintenance only maximum. And second is implementation. Implementation means implementing newly in a software. Implementation, I think, but implementing newly software in a company. So some companies there, they are using some software. They want to use SAP. They want to use SAP. They buy SAP software. When they buy SAP software, they don't be getting data, right? They'll be getting empty tables. All the tables they'll be getting, but which are empty. So they need to transfer data from their old database to SAP database. Once all the data is transferred from their old database to SAP database, then the company is known as SAP implemented company. Then they start using SAP software in their business applications. Now this is database. Legacy system, nothing but non-SAP system. This is the database I'm showing here, like non-SAP. Like they are using some Java something. No, they don't want to use that. They want to use SAP, but they transfer. They need to maintain all the data, no? Like 20 years back business partners information. That data is transferred from their old database to SAP database by using this BDC. Right? And we take the data in .txt, okay, notepad or Excel sheet. We'll transfer the data through this BDC using some transactions, using the session method and call transaction method. We have recording method. LSMW is a tool that is also there. All these are used to transfer data from non-SAP to SAP ABAP database. Once all the data is transferred to SAP database, then company known as SAP implemented company, then they start using SAP software for their business applications. So this is one more important unit after reports. Reports is very important unit. After that, BDC is the important unit. Say for example, um, I want to transfer some data, say some material data I want to transfer. Okay, so what happens? The data I'll be taking. Okay, the data I'll be taking as a text file. Okay, like this, and I'm taking one record here. Like this, you can take a number of records. Where it is, just a minute. I'll take a data like this. Some material information I'm taking here. All these things will come to me later. Just information I'm passing. To 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fields information I'm sending. the text file. So I'm running this BDC. This is the code for BDC actually to transfer data. Okay, from non-SAP to SAP ABAP database. That means the non-SAP data taken as text file, and I'm writing this code. When I run this code, so it's asked to data class the data. So I'll give the data here. Okay, update mode, all these things, then execute. See, this is how the data is transferred. All the time, the data is updated all the time through the transactions only. Transactions purpose is to update the data, as I told you when I create a bank. Same way, now this is material information. I'm creating material. See how properly first screen, second screen, third screen, the data is getting okay updated in SAP database like this. Material already maintained. Okay, if it is another material, then like this, the material will be created in the database. Got it? So this is actually creating running this BDC to transfer data from non-SAP to SAP or method database. So this is BDC. We have different methods here: session, call transaction, recording, LSMW, all these things. Then enhancements. Enhancements are nothing but um, enhancing SAP given transactions. I told you already, SAP given thousands of transactions are available. Normally, we don't do any changes to the SAP given transactions, but some cases when it is required, SAP providing you okay, so handle to do that enhancements. Now that is called enhancement, advanced ABAP topic actually. Enhancements are used to expand the standard functionality within SAP. So user exists, customer exists are old enhancements. Only one-time implementation is possible. And then function exit, menu exit, screen exists. The type of this exists actually. But function exit is very important. If enhancement is there, definitely function exit will be there. So all the code, everything written under this function exit only. This is a very important one. Then advanced enhancements are there. Enhancement framework, advanced enhancements. You find here explicit implicit enhancements are there, explicit enhancements are there, enhancement point, enhancement section, and then bad is business add-ins. Okay, so this bad is for bad is SC18 SC19 transaction code for user exists, customer exists. For this we have C mode, S mode transactions, but this enhancement point, enhancement sections are nothing but advanced enhancements. From the coding itself you can do the enhancement without going into any different transaction. So this is actually enhancements, adding extra things to the SAP given transactions. So now here you have, say for example, I'll be showing you something here. CS03, this is bill of materials, the related transaction, and I added something here to this transaction. I'm showing that in the SAP given transaction, and at header level in custom fields I added something here. See, this is my enhancement to this transaction. Okay, okay, like this we can add something to the existing SAP given transaction. So this is called, this is my own screen, this is my own fields added to this SAP given transaction. This is called enhancements. Okay, like say in SC38, just now we seen some code here in ABAP editor. Okay, here you find, see this ABCD which I added. This is also enhancement. How I added this? I'll go to this. It's a program name. Don't worry about these things. Okay, I'll show all those things in detail. And this is the package. You need to check the package. Once you know the package, then you need to check in C mode, S mode, transaction code is there. This for user exist. F4, information systems, view the package. These are all the enhancements. See, this is how the enhancements are given by SAP for SC38. We cannot do, by selecting this only, you can do some enhancement to the SAP given transaction. So this is what we want actually. This enhancement SEUED001. This enhancement given by SAP. To do that, what you need to do is you need to go to CMO transaction. All these things you'll see. Nothing to worry. And I'll be showing you some name. Click on create enhancement assignments. This enhancement I'll give. See, I told you one time enhancement is possible. Already this is belongs to some project already ZEAD. So we cannot do it. Either we need to modify it or we need to delete it. Otherwise, we're not allowed to do this because there's a drawback of this user exists. So okay, I'm open this one, existing one, enhancement assignments. This is added here, and then components. In this components you find, see, these are enhancements. So you take this SAP is 3080, you want to double click on this ABCD what I'm writing here now. So this is nothing but what I added there actually. I'll change this now. I'm writing here something, some text. Okay, you can write whatever you want here. Some text I'm writing here. Otherwise you can write something. Copy. Okay, then come back and open this SC38 now. Now go to this utilities. It's not activated. This time it's not activated, I think. This is the way to activate. See here, go to function builder, something written. Like we can add something to the existing SAP given transactions. All these things we'll see in further classes. These are called enhancements actually. Then forms. Forms are nothing but designing your layouts or business documents. This is a simple unit actually. Here you find SAP scripts and smart forms are under ABAP. Okay, first Adobe Forms are advanced one. The overview of Adobe Forms I'll be giving you. But one object which is client dependent in SAP is SAP scripts. SAP scripts are client dependent. What is that? What is the drawback of being client dependent? All those things we'll discuss when we discuss the scripts. Then smart forms are client independent, which are advanced. Okay, and Adobe Forms advanced one again. So we'll see these things in our training sessions. So this is how the layout will be. The business partners, impressing business partners will be creating this business documents. Like when you buy a car, you'll get invoice. That invoice also business document. They don't be creating that invoice in front of you, right? They'll be already having some template. Okay, they just create the printout by giving your name and address. The same way, these are all the purchase order, sales order, inquiry, quotation. For all those things, we use this forms actually, and we'll be creating this layouts or business documents. Depends upon a requirement. Like this, we'll be designing the smart form screen. Actually, we'll be designing these forms. Just a minute. It's activity. So we have pages, windows, or page windows, okay, and we have paragraph formats, character formats. Okay, you can make some letter to bold, italic, underlined. For that, we require this paragraph formats and character. All those things are components of this scripts and smart forms. We'll be discussing all this in detail. This is a small unit actually. It's taking time actually. Okay. That will continue. Let's see that later. Then why SAP has been very successful? Because SAP secured information, well integrated. It supports multiple currencies, multiple languages. All those are advantages of SAP. Why SAP is very good in the market comparing to other ERPs. Okay. Then we discussed about these are all the topics. Rise of no. Actually, something wrong with this. Okay, forget about it. We have in ABAP. I'll be showing you the course content also. First, let me finish these things. First is basics unit. First unit is basics. Then reports, and then transactions, and then BDC, and then SAP scripts and smart forms. These are major 5 units of SAP ABAP, core units. Okay. Then advanced ABAP. In advanced ABAP, we have SAP enhancements, and then object-oriented ABAP, ABAP. Okay. Then cross applications, we have IDOCs, RFCs, ALE, and then BAPIs. They're all cross application. Now, what we discussed here is rise of no, rise of nothing but reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements, and then forms, right? So here reports nothing but the first second report. For reports, basics are compulsory for every unit. For all these ABAP basics are compulsory reports. Interfaces are nothing but your cross applications. Complete all cross applications under interfaces. Then conversions nothing but your BDC. For BDC, transactions are required. Okay. And then enhancement nothing but your SAP enhancements. And then forms nothing but your SAP scripts and smart forms. Okay, like this you find this RISEF. Okay, and we will be using this object-oriented ABAP also, OVA ABAP also, using object-oriented concepts in ABAP. Like here we have first unit is basics, basics of ABAP programming language, introduction to ERP, SAP, and introduction to ABAP, ABAP dictionary, programming basics, and then we have reports. After that, program basic means we find data types, data objects using data statement, type and like parameters and select options, conditional statements, loops and terminating loops, open SQL commands, internal tables, subroutines, function modules, includes macros, field symbols, debugging, runtime analysis, performance tests. All these are under basics. The first unit we required definitely around 20 classes, 18 to 20 classes required to complete this first unit. When you complete this first unit, then only you can work on these applications like reports, classical interactive, ALVs. You're using LDB, ABAP query, joins, nested select statements for all entries, control break statements. All these are actually reports. Okay, so it's a very important unit. Reports and basics. we required like around some 20 classes for basics, 10 classes for reports, around 25 to 30 classes required for these 2 units only. Half of web app is this only, these 2 units only. Then transactions, dialog program, just now I shown you FI01 to create the bank. Like that, there are many transactions are given by SAP. So how to create our own transactions, how to use subscreens internally, table controls, tap step controls, step loops, all those things we'll see under this transaction chapter. Then this knowledge is required for BDC, batch data communication, conversions, as we discussed, transferring data from non-SAP to SAP ABAP database. We have here local files, sequential files, and session method, call transaction method, recording method, all these things we'll discuss. Then SAP scripts and smart forms, these are actually to design the layouts or business documents, what we discussed. These are the 5 major units of ABAP programming language. Then advanced ABAP concept, SAP enhancements, user exists and customer exists, and then bodies. Then object-oriented ABAP, OABAP, this is OABAP, okay. And then cross applications are technologies used to send data from one system to other system, IDOCs, RFCs, ALE, and then BAPI. So these are all actually complete advanced ABAP, and cross applications. All the thing we will be covering here. Every day 1 hour session. We'll be providing the recordings also, and server access also given to you 24/7. Anytime you can practice. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the class. I'll be giving you the material for understanding. I'll be giving you the exercise also for your practice purpose. And if at all you want all the code also, I'll be sending to you. Definitely recordings will be sent to you, okay, and you can have those recordings. You can go through them. If at all you want one more time, you can play the recording, and still you have doubt, you can ask me the next day so that you can discuss once again. But you need to practice at least 1 hour, spend 1 hour at least, okay. Whatever we discussed today, we discuss. Just go through that today itself before coming tomorrow's class. That way you can learn things easily, right? So altogether definitely required more than 2 months definitely to finish all these things. So if you have any queries, you can ask me so that you can